And Cooper, welcome to another episode of Cooper's Cogitations. We spoke last time on Exodus and how the children of Israel left Egypt. They were slaves. We itemized some of their problems with being slaves. And then we told how they were brought out by Moses, by the power of God. And when he brought them out with the power of God, they saw the power of God. They saw the sea opened. They saw the weapons of the Egyptians, the metal weapons, float to their side, that they were able to pick them up and use them as weapons to conquer the promised land. They saw these things. Josephus says God wanted to prove them to see if they had delight in liberty. So they ran out of food in 30 days. And immediately, what did they do? They were kvetching. They were lachrymose. They come to Moses and they said, would to God we had died. He brought us out here to die. Would we had remained in Egypt where we had enough to eat. Flesh pots were full. They were willing to trade liberty with its hazards to security of Egypt, not owning themselves, their wives, or their children. What will we do for money? What will we do, quote, for liberty? Liberty. All right, so we come to Sinai. Sinai is very important. It's fundamental to understanding the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and why Christian founders rebelled against their Christian king and their Christian parliament. At Sinai, in Exodus 18, Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses, visits. Moses is sitting around every day, morning till night. He's judging the people. The people are coming to him with their problems, their complaints, their conflicts, and he's judging it. Jethro laughs, probably didn't laugh, says, what are you doing? You're going to wear these people out. Choose your judges. Thou shalt provide out of all the people able men such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, to place such over them to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, fifties, and tens. Let them judge the people at all seasons, and it shall be that every great matter they shall bring to thee, every small matter they shall judge, for it is easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. They will bear the burden with thee. Isn't that what it says in the Book of Mormon? When King Mosiah has no sons, he and his priest read the brass plates, read about Exodus and the first representative government in the world. And they said, we're going to have a representative government also, that every man will bear his own burden. So the Israelites got together and they chose judges of 10 families, 50 families, 100, 1,000, 10,000. When they had the population 100,000. Josephus, in Antiquities of the Jews, calls this, I assume it's the 100,000, the heads, the rulers, the judges, the representatives of 100,000 families, a Senate. First time I've heard of the Senate, I thought it came out of Rome. And this Senate, or the Sanhedrin, ruled the people. Now, did they do it by themselves? No, of course not. Moses reiterates this in Deuteronomy, the first chapter. Take you individuals and make them judges. Folks, this is the first I've heard of courts of original and appellate jurisdiction. You go to your judge of 10, your representative of 10, you talk to them, you don't like the results, you take it to the 50. You don't like that, you take it to the 100 or the 1,000, you move it up the chain of being. Isn't that what we have in America today? And a court system of appellate jurisdiction. You don't like the original, you can move it up. Wow, what a concept. And we vote on our rulers. Utah used to have a caucus system where the neighborhood got together and choose their representatives, their delegates. Now, these are supposed to be individuals who fear God, who know and understand the laws of God, as it says in the requirement in Deuteronomy, which means they know and understand the Constitution. Well, at our last delegate caucus meeting, I was the only one that reads the Constitution on a regular basis. And guess what? I'm not a delegate, a precinct chair. So they choose individuals based on what they learn in high school. I like the way you look. You're so friendly. You're so nice. You're going to vote the way I look. Or they base it on an agenda. You see, a lot of people, particularly Democrats, and a lot of the New World Order rhinos meet together before the caucus, decide who's going to be which position, and then they go there and they vote for their people. Their people get in. Surprise, surprise. Or you have counting. And isn't it amazing that sometimes their people count? And when they count, if they don't like you, they don't count you, or they count you for someone else. Shades of 2020. We don't have fraudulent elections, not in America. Vote Scam was written by two Democrats. Unfortunately, they died a couple of years afterwards. Vote Scam, good book. I grew up in New Orleans. There's no such thing as an honest cop, an honest election, or an honest politician. Thank you. So they went and they chose these rulers. Now, as it grew, before I get there, he took them, he made them, and he charged them. Hear the causes between your brother, judge righteously, judge according to the law I've given you. Between every man his brother and the stranger that is with thee. Wow. So if you're an immigrant coming to my country and you break the rules, you're judged just like a normal person is judged. Wow. Illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, I guess they're judged the same way. Also, ye shall not respect persons in judgment. Ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for judgment is God, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it to me and I'll hear it. Righteous judgment, Lady Liberty, holding the scale of justice that's equally balanced. We don't care who you are, what your race, color, creed is. We don't care your wealth. You're going to get judged properly according to the law. What a concept. We're not going to talk about Clintons. We're not going to talk about George Floyd. We're not going to talk about any of these other people, are we? You need to have righteous judges. Perhaps this is one reason the Massachusetts Bay Colony refused to allow lawyers to come in, because everyone had a Bible. They read the Bible, and based on the Bible, they said every man knows the law. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You have the law book in your hand. Why don't you read it? Nowadays, because we have a lawyer society, and the foundation for the destruction of the liberties of your people were laid by the unrighteousness of your judges and lawyers, the Book of Mormon. Yeah, thank you. So they have so many of these rules and regulations that the lawyers themselves have to specialize, have a corporation, have computers, and get updated every quarter. They don't even know what it is. The judges don't even know what it is. Interesting, isn't it? There's supposed to be one law for everyone. Not only this, you shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. You shall not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness thou shalt judge thy neighbor. Oh, except if you're President Trump or any of the people who created a false dossier, or any of the media who lie about anything. Wow, we've come a long ways, haven't we? But it hasn't been up, it's been down. You shall have one manner of law as well for the strangers, one for your own country. I am the Lord your God. This is equality. And not only that, but when they grew, they have to have more officers. Listen to what Joshua tells the people. He calls the people together, all the tribes of Israel to Shechem, and called the elders of Israel and their heads, their judges, their officers. They presented themselves before God. What did he call? Well, the elders, generally speaking, back then, were the ecclesiastical leaders. The heads were the heads of the tribes, the patriarchal system. The heads of these different groups came down and visited with Joshua. And not only that, but their judges and the officers. See, by that time, you had to have officers go out and help with the government, the civil government of Israel. They had so many people. Folks, they reiterate, every man did that which was right in his own eyes. This was not a democracy. However, you had something that we don't have, that we haven't had in America for 100 years. It's called liberty. Wow, liberty. You mean you could own your own home, start your own business? You could give your home to your children and not worry about property or inheritance taxes. Remember Secretariat? She was going to lose the family ranch unless she came up with $6 million in taxes. So what do you own? Do you own your business? Can you build your house without the government approval of your plans and inspections? What about your children? Do you have to put your children in school? If you don't, do they come and get you and snatch your children away? When they go to school, do they have to have certain vaccines? Do they have to have the vaccine? In fact, in some school districts, teachers give puberty blockers and gender question marks without parental permission. They can even get abortions in some schools without parental permission. You don't even own your own children. We're total slaves in America today. No one is more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Thank you very much. We will, in our next segment, I think we will continue with Sinai. We might move on to something else. We'll see. Thank you very much, and have a good day.